Also, I was in looking for the deleted scenes, I found other stuff where Tarantino's talking about they actually scaled back a good bit of the gore. He said like the Mandingo scene was much worse.
Oof. Which I already thought that was a lot personally, but
he said the dog scene was just like, really really bad. Just a lot. So he said he basically doing it with the sample audiences, test audiences, whatever. He was saying like, I traumatized them and now they don't want to go on the rest of the ride,
Yeah.
So he's like, I scaled it back a good bit. So, it's still there, but, not the trauma part of it.
Yeah. It's a delicate balance. You want to be visceral because granted, everything in this era is like visceral. It's difficult and it's rough to look at. It's an important, but it's a terrible part of like, U.S. history. So like I get that part of it, but yeah, just making it even more gruesome, even more tough to look at.
And down to the last detail.
Yeah.
In the very first scene, he takes the shackles off Django. His fucking ankles are all tore up because he's got fucking shackles on.
Yeah. He's been walking for 20, 30, 40 miles, whatever.
Down to the last detail. It's rough. My last couple aren't extensive, but basically... King was right. Keeping the first handbill with him was good luck. He won over the angry slave. He finally smiled. Guy eaten by dogs avenged. Tell Miss Laura goodbye. The way she flew back made 0 sense, but it was fucking funny. Shades of Godfather 2. And that'd be my last note. So yeah.
Yeah. I was really confused coming into the scene where Django's hanging upside down. I was like, is that his balls? Like, are those his actual balls that are just hanging there? And it kind of seemed like that might have just been his actual balls just hanging there, which was odd to see after they had kind of strung him up after he surrendered. We had...
So I only read about deleted scenes about this, but apparently, so you kind of see Django hanging there and he's not like sweaty or anything, and apparently like that last scene right before Steven's like bye or whatever, like he's like sweating and shit like profusely, and apparently there was a cut scene where he like embarrassed Steven in the house because he was like saying like, oh, the head house slave is like, because remember he says that in the meeting with when they're talking about what they're going to do to rescue his wife when he's talking to King. He's like, being the head house guy is, the worst. And then, he's like, and then, a black slaver is even worse than that, So apparently he like said something to Steven about being that guy in the house, and like embarrassed him and everything. And then as payback for that, I guess Steven like burned off his nipples. Oh. And there was a cut scene of that. So I guess that's probably some of the violence that he cut too.
See where you were going with that? I was like, did like Steven didn't piss on this man, did he? Like just the ultimate.
It wasn't sweat, it was pee.
No, but that's maybe just some of that violence they decided to cut out too. But yeah, that is graphic.